There's more to your favorite game than meets the eye. Every video game has a secret. There are mysteries, Easter eggs, and out-of-bound areas that you were and weren't supposed to find. From old games to new ones, join me as I uncover the weird, creepy, and even the amusing things people have found in games. This is Missing Number. Be sure to subscribe, like, and click the bell icon for more episodes. And if you know any video game Easter eggs, secrets, or mysteries, be sure to let me know in the comments below or through my social media accounts. All of the links are in the video description. At the young age of 4, a YouTube user named Sizabledore decided to play Army Men Sarge's Heroes for the Dreamcast. In one particular mission, the player is tasked with locating and rescuing a character named Scorch. Little did Sizabledore know that he would end up finding more than just Scorch. Nearly 20 years later, Sizabledore, now an adult, ended up playing the game again and recorded this gameplay footage to show us proof of what he saw as a kid. When he runs into enemy-infested territory and starts crawling underneath a specific wall, this is what he found, to his horror.
Alright, right here. Right here. Right? And then you get down, you crawl under. Holy shit, I did it. I fucking did it. Look at this.
A room covered with pictures of a man whose head is stitched together with something, another human body part. It's incredibly disturbing, creepy, and weird. It's like Ed Gein's room or something.
This has been undiscovered. I swear to God, it's been undiscovered since this game first came out. I swear to God, I'm probably the only person that's ever found this. And this shit plagued me my entire fucking life, dude. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'm freaking out. I finally have it on video evidence. I'm about to put it on YouTube. I don't know who it is. I don't know what it is.
So what's the story with this? I couldn't find anyone else who found this online. In fact, Sizabledore may indeed be the only person to have discovered this. Interestingly though, after scrolling through the video's comment section, a YouTube channel named Oddheader, which also features gaming Easter eggs, actually shed some light on the situation. He explained, quote, "Someone actually emailed me, whose relative worked on the game, said the game was held together kind of poorly, that most of the invisible walls were made of invisible assets, and that these were actually assets that were meant to be invisible. So unbelievably, this wasn't even intended to be in the game," end quote. Now that sounds plausible, if true. However, it still doesn't explain why in the world there would be images of a man's head stitched together with what appears to be another human body part. It's so disturbingly bizarre. And who is that man in the picture? I couldn't find any answers. However, interestingly, there are cheat codes in the game that replace the game's textures with faces. Presumably, these are the game's developers' faces, meaning that this could be someone from the team. Or maybe it's someone else. And why the pictures are even in the game is still unknown. Liberty City is home to many things: Cluckenbell, criminals, and the Liberty City Cocks. The latter is a soccer/football team who has a fierce rivalry with the Liberty City Beavers. It's said that this rivalry is so fierce that it's spilled over into violence, including SUV hit-and-runs and bitter fights between angry housewives. The Liberty City Cocks play at a stadium called the Liberty Memorial Coliseum, or as it's also known as, Busch Stadium. Built in 1923, the stadium is located in Aspatria on Staten Island, but it's not accessible. Its doors are closed, and in Liberty City stories, the same stadium can be seen, but it's undergoing renovations. As such, it was never meant to be entered. However, that hasn't stopped players from sneaking inside anyway. A YouTube channel called GTA Guide uploaded a video showing how to get inside the stadium, and it requires flying the infamous Dodo plane. This plane is notorious since the controls are awkward, finicky, and just plain awful. Also, it's the only way to fly in GTA 3, so if you want to take to the skies, you need to use the Dodo. If you're one of the few that's actually able to fly the Dodo, then you can actually fly over Busch Stadium and land inside of it. However, apparently players were never meant to be able to do this. Nevertheless, should you fly over the stadium, you can see text in the bleachers that reads, "Cocks." Oh, Rockstar. While the stadium inside is textured, the field itself is not solid and has incorrect collision data, so if you attempt to land on the field, you will actually go through it and end up underneath it. Plants vs. Zombies has traditionally been a cute, colorful series that's family friendly. But what I experienced on the night of October 5th, 2019 was anything but friendly. Underneath the series' lightheartedness lies an eerie truth. Many plants and zombies have died. For 10 years now, a war has been raging. Plants have been battling zombies for a decade now, and with the recent release of the third-person shooter, Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville, there is no end in sight. Many have died, and with so many lives lost, it would seem that even the dead are looking for vengeance. One night, I decided to play Battle for Neighborville on my Twitch channel. I chose to play as the fire-breathing Snapdragon, even though I'm not really good with him. I wanted to improve my skills with his character though, so I ended up playing as him, as our team faced off against the enemy zombie players. I was playing a game mode called Turf Takeover, where we had to capture zones on the map, and the map that I was playing on was called Goopy Gully, which is a rocky desert region. Early on, our team was doing well. We managed to capture the first zone pretty quickly, and once we captured it, the zombie players could be seen fleeing like Roadrunner. As we charged ahead to the next capture zone, my teammates and I picked off stragglers. At one point, I was sniping this one zombie, and then all of a sudden from out of nowhere, I see my chomper comrade jump in and start chomping away at this guy like he was a taco. It was brutal. You could see the fear in the zombie's eyes as he frantically tried to run away for his life. But it was futile. You almost felt sorry for the zombie. Almost. At this point, the zombies retreated in this old abandoned mine, the Mine of Floria. Legend has it that the mine was once occupied by the ancient gnomes. The plants feared to go into those mines. The gnomes delved too greedily and too deep, and once at the bottom, they awoke something in the darkness of Khazad-dûm, shadow, and flame. As I got closer to the entrance of the mine, I paused to read my chat, but then quickly afterwards, something terrifying happened.
Once you get to Cheeky, I punish them with Fung Fu. So you do kind of like a fake out.
I was hit. There was an explosion behind me. There are more stragglers? I thought we killed everyone, I thought to myself. I quickly turned around with fright, fully expecting to be face to face with a zombie straggler, and once I completely turned around, that's when I saw no one. There was no one before my eyes. Not a scientist, not an engineer, or an 80s action hero. I was confused and shook up and couldn't comprehend what just happened. But then all of a sudden...
Did you see that? Did you guys see that?
Something caught my eye in the distance. It seemed to be a dark shadowy figure, jumping in the air and then vanishing in plain sight. It gives me the chills. When I first saw this, I immediately thought it was a shadow person. Shadow people are believed to be malevolent shadows that take the form of a humanoid or creature. Some believe they could be demons, aliens, time travelers, or even visitors from another dimension. Their intent or purpose is largely unknown, but some have claimed that they've been physically attacked by shadow people. Most people don't get to go look at them, since they seem to appear and disappear quickly out of the corner of one's eyes, just like with what I saw in Battle for Neighborville. Upon closer inspection of the clip, I noticed that in one single frame, the dark shadowy figure can be seen with something on its back. It looks like a rocket launcher that a soldier zombie class carries. This would explain the explosion. It may have been an RPG from a soldier. When reviewing the explosion, it doesn't seem like the object/explosion directly hit me. Instead, it looks like it hit the wall next to me, and according to the Plants vs. Zombies Wikipedia page, the soldier's rocket launcher, or ZPG, deals 50 splash damage. Before I got hit, I had full health with 175 HP, but when I got hit with a ZPG splash damage, my health went down to 125, which means I incurred exactly 50 damage. This means that the dark shadowy figure may have been a soldier. However, this doesn't explain why the character was pitch black. All of the characters in the game are very colorful, and when you die, you don't change colors. Furthermore, when you get killed, you don't jump in the air and warp out of existence like in this footage. In Red Dead Redemption 2, there is a missing persons poster that can be found regarding a princess named Isabeau Katharina Zinsmeister. She went missing in 1884 at the age of 5 during a royal visit to the United States. She has blonde hair and birthmarks on her left cheek and right hand, Anyone that can find her and bring her back safely will be rewarded with $100. The only problem is, no one is able to find her in the game. It's like she doesn't even exist. It's very mysterious and baffling, since why would Rockstar have a missing persons poster of a character in the game if the character doesn't even exist? What's more, according to a YouTuber named Mr. Boss for the Win, there are NPCs that talk about her in the game, and in the town of Van Horn, you can even find her luggage in a store complete with her initials and her family seal. Not only that, there's a newspaper article about her titled Royal Kidnap, which says that she disappeared from a remote hunting lodge. Interestingly, there's a hunting lodge in a settlement called Manzanita Post, where underneath a floorboard, you can find a Norwegian journal page and a picture of what may possibly be Princess IKZ. It's implied that the settlement, where the hunting lodge is located, is a weird and dangerous place. If you talk to an NPC at a campsite, he talks about how the place feels, quote, wrong. The aforementioned newspaper article says that some believe the princess was murdered or kidnapped, but no ransom note was ever received. Interestingly, the article mentions that there was a rumor that she was taken to a small town, but doesn't elaborate. So what happened to Princess IKZ, and where is she? Is she even in the game? It's possible she was cut out from the game's final release. However, after digging through the game's files and code, players were actually able to find a model of her and spawn her in the game. This is what she looks like. She disappeared in 1884 at the age of 5, and since Red Dead Redemption 2 takes place in 1899, she would now be in her 20s. You can also see she has what appears to be birthmarks on her face and hand. The missing persons poster mentions she had a birthmark on her right hand and left cheek. Here we can see a birthmark, or maybe a scar, on her right hand. However, on her face, the birthmark is on her right cheek, and not her left cheek. So does this mean that this isn't the princess? Not quite, since according to Mr. Boss for the Win, in order to spawn her in the game, the file you need to put in is, quote, CS_Princess Isabeau. So we can pretty much assume that this is indeed Princess IKZ. Additionally, her attire looks relatively elegant and high-end, and she's wearing what looks like a pretty expensive pendant, which could indicate that she is of royalty. What's more, she's not just a standstill model, she's actually fully animated, meaning she was most likely meant to be in the game, maybe as part of a quest or Easter egg. Or maybe she's going to be included as future DLC. Of course, it's also entirely possible that she was never officially in the game to begin with, that Rockstar was originally going to include her, but decided to cut her out for whatever reason. The only way to make her appear in the game is to spawn her in using a PC trainer, and if you do this and try to bring her in the sheriff's office, nothing happens. It's unknown if you can actually find Princess IKZ in the game without a PC trainer. Maybe she really is in the game, but people just haven't been able to find her yet. Ever have one of those moments where you feel like someone is watching you? In Hello Neighbor, it's not just your imagination. There really is someone watching you from the shadows. This mysterious, humanoid entity is known as the Thing or the Shadow Man, and it is evil. It's unknown who or what the Shadow Man is, but some believe it is the devil, or the manifestation of the player's fears. Another theory is that it is the consciousness of the game's antagonist, Mr. Peterson, who guards his house from anyone trying to enter his basement to uncover his secret. That, or perhaps it's Mr. Peterson's son, Aaron, who was locked up in the basement by his own father. If true, then the Shadow Man could be the embodiment of Mr. Peterson's guilt. Mr. Peterson even fears the Shadow Man himself, and so it's possible that the Shadow Man is the true main antagonist who was the one pulling the strings all along. Moreover, the Shadow Man could have been controlling Mr. Peterson himself. Throughout the game, you can see the Shadow Man lurking in the darkness and watching you from a distance, as seen in this gameplay footage. He can be seen standing on a rafter above, watching you behind a wire mesh fence, and you can even see him in cutscenes. Not only that, he's even in the secret gym level, which apparently can't be accessed without a PC trainer or console commands. In Act 3, Basement, you actually have a close encounter with the Shadow Man himself. And at the end of the game, you even end up going face to face with him. So who is the Shadow Man? No one can say for certain, and it will remain a mystery. In the world of Metro, a nuclear war broke out that killed billions of people. It was a nuclear holocaust that affected the entire world, and those living in Russia ended up moving underground in the Metro system to survive. Over the years, various communities and factions formed in the underground train stations, some good and some not so good. Below and above the dark depths of the subway tunnels, horrific, nuclear-irradiated monsters that were once animals now roam the world. But it turns out that there may be far more sinister things out there, things that aren't of this world. Someone who goes by the name of Only Positive Vibes contacted me on my Discord and submitted a gameplay video of something creepy and bizarre happening to him while playing Metro 2033 Redux. During one gameplay session, he was lost and didn't know where to go. Even after searching for half an hour, he still couldn't find his way through the treacherous level. But then eventually, he stumbled into an old abandoned building, possibly thinking it was the way forward. But it was far from it, and what he saw in that building confused and terrified him. Here is the footage of what he saw. It was taken in 2016, and in the video, he can be heard talking to his friends in German on Discord.
Mädchen 2 war voll okay. Da ist es. Ich hab den Easter Egg gefunden.
Es gab dann immer ja so Private Server, die waren immer am besten.
Ja, hier, das war auch.
Das wäre richtig geil.
Also kann ich mir das empfehlen.
War es Mädchen 2?
Ja.
War voll okay.
At the end of the footage, you can see two creepy children who just vanish into thin air. Who were they, and why did the TV turn on its own?
Das war auch.
And what were those white flashes? And most disturbingly of all, why didn't those children have eyes? I couldn't find any answers or anyone else encountering these kids, with the exception of one other person who said that they actually encountered the children as well. When Only Positive Vibes uploaded this gameplay footage on YouTube 3 years ago, a person going by the name of The Great Deceiver commented on the video saying, quote, "I got this on my very first playthrough, and they never appeared again. I tried doing everything a few times, but they didn't show up. Legitimately, one of the scariest moments in games." End quote. Perhaps they were ghosts. Paranormal activity has been reported throughout the world of Metro, with people having seen dark, shadowy figures. It's said that the ghosts are unable to cross over, and that the spirits can be seen wandering around the tunnels, reliving their last moments over and over again. Some are non-hostile, while others will attack you in sight. Purportedly, if you try to listen to the sounds of them through the pipes, they will come after you. Another theory as to who or what those kids were may have something to do with the Dark Ones. The Dark Ones are mysterious, humanoid beings who are rumored to once be humans that ended up mutating due to the radiation. They have dark, gray skin and have long, slender arms and legs with a deformed, menacing face. They are considered dangerous and have telepathic powers in which they're able to manipulate their target's minds and create illusions. As such, the two kids that Only Positive Vibes saw could have been illusions created by the Dark Ones. Moreover, those white flashes that appear on screen also occur elsewhere in the game. Footage of this can be seen in another video uploaded by someone else. A link to it will be in the video description, but in that footage, the player sees a white flash and then starts hallucinating as he sees children at a playground. Then, after a few seconds, the hallucination ends with another white flash. But if you look quickly, you can see a dark, shadowy figure kneeling and then vanishing into thin air. This shadowy figure looks like the Dark Ones, and the white flashes are just like the white flashes Only Positive Vibes saw in that abandoned home. This means that the Dark Ones could be connected to those two kids. However, what's odd is that the white flashes Only Positive Vibes saw are more abrupt than the typical white flashes, and this also doesn't explain why the TV eerily turned on by itself, like something out of The Ring, or why sirens mysteriously went off.
Das wäre richtig geil.
Another theory is that the kids were black-eyed children. These beings are said to be young kids ranging anywhere from 6 to 16 years old who have completely solid black eyes. They have no pupils, iris, or sclera, and it's believed that they are evil. People who have claimed to encounter them say that there was an overwhelming, unexplainable sense of dread and fear when talking to these children. They're sometimes seen in pairs and are usually near deserted or abandoned areas, but they're known to approach people's vehicles or doorsteps, asking if they can either get a ride or enter the home. They usually don't make eye contact and have their head down, but their mannerisms and speech patterns resembles that of an adult. Should you look at them in the eyes, they become aggressive, and should you let them in your home or vehicle, it's unknown what will happen to you. There are no reports of what actually happens when you allow these kids inside, which could indicate that those that do as the children ask end up dead or taken away. As for who or what these kids are, one theory is that they are spirits of murdered children and that their presence is an omen of doom and ill will. The black-eyed kids eerily sound like the two children that only Positive Vibe saw in that abandoned home. The original 1999 version of Resident Evil 3 takes place around the events of Resident Evil 2, and with the remake of RE3 having been announced, you might wonder if RE2 has any hints or teases of a RE3 remake. After all, both games take place in Raccoon City, and you can even find a letter left behind from Jill in RE2. But is there anything more? It turns out there is. After Capcom announced the RE3 remake, they ended up updating the demo for RE2. Originally, the demo had a 30-minute time limit, but not only did the update get rid of that, it also added an Easter egg alluding to RE3. Before you enter the Raccoon City police station, if you go outside and stand in a specific area long enough, you can hear Resident Evil 3's Nemesis eerily shout the word STARS, which he typically does in the original RE3. Nemesis is the antagonist of RE3, who terrorizes you throughout the game. He is a bioorganic weapon created by the Umbrella Corporation, whose purpose is to kill members of STARS, which stands for Special Tactics and Rescue Service. Jill Valentine, who is the protagonist of RE3, was originally a member of STARS. So if you thought that the hulking tyrant in RE2 was fun, it wasn't. Looks like Nemesis is going to be a lot more fun. Oh god. Continuing with Resident Evil, there are more secrets that are hidden away in other RE games like Resident Evil 4. The game was released in 2005, but it took 12 years for people to find this secret. In fact, it even made headlines as big gaming sites like Kotaku and Game Informer reported on it in 2017. Near the end of the game, in Chapter 5-4, you can see something off in the distance. But the problem is that it's too far away to clearly see. Plus, there's fog. Even if you were to use a sniper rifle with an enhanced zoom, you can barely make it out. However, if you turn off the fog and take control of the camera, you can zoom in and see there's a 2D cutout of a man or a woman in a green jacket wearing blue jeans and a scarf. The person has their hands up, doing some kind of gesture. It may be the peace sign, or as some gaming websites pointed out, it looks like a Japanese person imitating a zombie. That would make sense, since Resident Evil is a zombie game, and some of the RE games were made in Japan. But the question remains, why is this person here, and who is it? It could be one of the game's developers just having some fun and putting themselves in the game as a joke. Or maybe it's a friend, family, or relative of someone on the dev team. Whoever this is, it still remains a mystery, even after 15 years. Sun, music, driving, and fun. These are the words that come to mind when thinking about Forza Horizon. Set in southern France and northern Italy, the scenic world of Forza Horizon 2 seems like a vacation paradise. But it's not all fun in the sun. When the sun sets, things go bump in the night as strange and chilling noises can be heard. Someone with the handle Bugatti Cars emailed me about strange voices and barking that he heard in the game and asked me if I could find out what they were. At first, I couldn't find anything, but then after digging deeper, I was able to find a handful of videos of people hearing strange noises as well. In this footage, captured by Ashton Wellward, he and his friend are in an empty hangar, and if you listen closely, you can hear strange, creepy screaming in the distance.
Okay, dude, stop for a minute and just listen. Can you hear that? It's like a noise. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Look, listening for sound. Sound. Do you hear that? Sound. Sound. Sound.
What were these eerie screams? It sounds like there's 2 or 3 different kinds of screaming, but one of them could be an animal. There were other videos uploaded by other users where you could also hear screaming, but after looking into it, some of the screams sounded just like a fox screaming at night. However, the screaming in Ashton's video does not sound like a fox call. Perhaps it's another animal. If you listen closely, there's a different kind of scream that can be heard, and it does not sound like an animal. In fact, it actually sounds like a blood-curdling scream of a man, and it sounds guttural. Hearing this gives me chills, and upon further investigation, I came across a forum post that someone posted on Forza's website that also mentioned hearing creepy noises in the game. A user named RitzyBiscuit7 wrote, quote, "Is this a child-safe game? Some of the noises in the broken down castle, like a scream and other stuff, are just really creepy," end quote. He then goes on to say that there's a house in the game that, quote, "looks like a murder house, with evil Jake the dog about to kill in the doorway at nighttime. Is this some kind of sick joke Sumo put in the game? Because all the other lights in the buildings look like regular lights during the day, but are creepy at night," end quote. This gets even creepier and stranger. While investigating all of these sounds, I ended up finding a video uploaded by someone named Ace Car Reviews, who not only captured another strange, creepy noise, but he also had a visual, paranormal sighting, and it's all caught on tape. In the video, you can hear what sounds like metal clanging in the distance.
Forza Horizon 2 right now on my 360, and I'm at the Zana Industries, and I'm by myself. Like, there's no one else here, but I think there's a ghost in here. Like, here, listen to this. You guys hear that cutting? Hear it?
And then you can see strange, glowing orbs above.
And then something's moving right there. And then there's a couple orbs there. I don't know if those are from my lights, but I know that's not my engine. My engine's purring like a kitten, and I'm in my Mercedes G-Wagon.
But, most eerily of all, you can see a black mass appear on the ceiling.
To see if I can figure out what it... Look. Look. Right there. Can you guys see that black cloud right there? What is that? It can't be emission from my car coming all the way from over there where my car's facing the other way. I'm by myself, and this is actually giving me chills, but it's coming from over here. Yup. But can you guys explain? I don't know what it is, but it's freaking me out.
There are many questions with very few answers. What was that spooky, banging sound? Maybe it was the wind blowing against something like metal tools. It could not have been other players, since Ace Car Reviews was by himself, and it certainly was not an animal. As for the glowing orbs, maybe they were fireflies, but they seem too big and circular, and they're completely stationary, which is odd. Another explanation is that they're spirits. Throughout human history, there have been numerous accounts of people seeing floating, glowing orbs. Some believe they are the souls of deceased humans or animals, while others believe they are the embodiment of nature itself. It's certainly ethereal and mysterious, but what on earth is that black, cloudy mass? As Ace Car Reviews mentioned in the video, it's unlikely the car's a mission since the car is facing the other way. Also, the vehicle is completely stationary, and so when the black mass actually grows in size right before Ace's eyes, I can't help but think it's something supernatural and ominous. One explanation is that it's ectoplasm or ectomist. These are reportedly solid or vaporous substances that can sometimes take the form of a cloud or a mist. They are said to be excreted from a medium's body and can transform into materialized limbs, faces, and even entire bodies of spirits. Reportedly, they smell like ozone, and when exposed to light, they will disappear, but then violently snap back, causing injury to the medium. This is one of the reasons why mediums have seances in the dark. However, this is noteworthy since Ace Car Reviews had his car's headlights on, and yet the ectoplasm still appeared. So what was it, and what were all those strange, creepy noises? Deep in the dark depths of the ocean lies something terrifying and creepy. In World of Warcraft, if you dive into the northern waters of Valdoon near the Slithering Gulch, you'll at first find beautiful glowing jellyfish near a cozy underwater hideaway that houses some turtle-like merchants. It sets you at ease, but then, if you venture farther down, you'll see a horn. Blow on the horn, and something will rise from the cold, shadowy depths. A Kraken.
Look at this! I mean, what the hell is this?
Also known as the Writhing Leviathan, this giant squid-like monster wriggles around when the horn is blown, but doesn't have any collision data. You can go through it, but you can't interact with it, and it just ominously lurks there in the shadowy depths.
So yeah, as you can see here, he has a holy crap. It's kind of creepy. I mean, you know, just from the bottom of the ocean, like looking straight up, waiting for something.
However, it seems to appear elsewhere in the game. Some players have apparently seen it in Kragwa's Burrow in Nazmir as a clickable enemy, but once they tried to get near it, it disappeared. You can also apparently see it rising to the surface and attacking people in a cutscene in the Battle for Azeroth expansion, and, according to one commenter in another YouTube video, you actually end up fighting the beast as well. Not much is known about the Kraken. They are mentioned in the troll legends and are said to be older than mortal races. They're so old that they even remember when the old ones ruled and when magic was new. Stories are told of them attacking mortal beings and destroying entire empires. They can be as big as 50 feet long and are mighty servants of the elemental lord of water, Neptulin, the Tide Hunter. And the patriarch of all the Kraken is the mighty Azumat, who you end up fighting as a boss. What other secrets lie out there? If you know any more gaming mysteries or Easter eggs, let me know in the comments below. You can also contact me through any of my social media accounts, or you can email me at missingnumbermystery@gmail.com. Additionally, you can check out my other YouTube channel called The PK Paul Show, where I cover gaming news. And if you like to hang out with me and watch some fun gaming streams, you can catch me on Twitch at PK Paul. All of the links are in the video description, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more episodes of Missing Number.